looking easy at all.
Whether or not they'll be able to recover mentally, because this is not easy by any means. And you have sort of a bad start to a day like this. And I mean, props to Coop and Hide and Seek, because as much as everybody will sit there and go, oh my goodness, how come Akon and Cold not doing as well as we thought? You got to big these guys up, because they have made this upset happen. It looks like they're going to continue to do so as well. Got to be careful though. Don't want to give Akon a 1v1 situation, because he does win those, but nevertheless, another game in their favor. Who would have thought?
Yeah, it's almost like all or nothing in the next couple of games coming out from them. Their playstyle now has been dictated by the situation that they're in. They have to start picking up eliminations from here on out as Pyla and NPen. They're no strangers to eliminations. Pyla already has one. Trying to take the piece control, but goes around instead. Takes down Fred. Huge siphon and refresh. He sees NPen in a fight. He gets taken down. Gutterleaf versus Bylaw here.
This is not good. A 1v1 situation now here at the Breakwater Bay. I'll be honest with you, Jacob. As somebody who has loved my time playing this season, is Breakwater Bay a POI I think is worth 3 teams fighting for? I will be very honest. I do not think so.
I'm glad you think so. Same thing. Because I was thinking no, but I trust your judgment.
It's one of those situations that, look, Breakwater Bay, it's not got the best metal, it's not got the most materials of any POI by any means. It's not got the most actual loot of any of the POIs. Again, like you said, it's one of those sort of outskirt POIs. Look, I don't get it, but clearly the players feel like it's something worth fighting for. And I think when you look at their positions in the standings, they don't reflect well on the POI. Nevertheless, somebody has to win this fight. I'm sure Byla, after seeing his former teammate Peterbot going crazy last game, will be hoping he can match that level as well.
Have to be careful though. Aaron and Naves are slowly but surely sneaking up. They might not have gotten an invitation to the party, but they're still gonna crash it nonetheless. Piece control almost going over. Great peek by Gutterleaf to take the shields right down from Byla. It's gonna force him back, force him to try to stabilize the situation, use whatever heals he has to try to get back on up, but the sneak play is in. They're crouching, they're trying to minimize the audio cues that they're giving out. Byla and Gutter have to be careful because it doesn't matter in this situation because they both have the potential to go down.
Gonna try to use that Excalibur rifle and connect, and that's gonna be huge. It's going to give him that incentive to push on, but he needs to be careful. I think he realizes there is a duo behind him. That's going to be Naves and Aaron. We've not had the best of days, and so realizing with all of the things going on here at Breakwater Bay, maybe there's an opportunity for a third party. There certainly is. Got a lethal fort, and it looks like Byler's next. He has nothing to answer when it comes to Naves and Aaron. Strolling in, making it look nice and simple.
And for Naves and Aaron, who are kind of in that same situation, the lack of metal resources, they got all those refreshes, all the siphon mats. So they got to be looking good at this situation, especially you count in the search that they just got as Rokane and Joji. A little bit of a split drop here on this side of the map. They're just looting up so they get themselves a better position. But Edgy and Miro slowly sneaking in. They heard all the commotion going down, fight after fight finishing. And this is their chance to get their own surge. Only 10 points so far. This is, again, another team you wouldn't expect to be in this position.
You can see Edgy and Miro playing it very slowly. Looking to try to set up sort of a pinch, both of them attacking from different angles. And they will have to be patient with the opportunity. And it looks like Miro felt the opportunity was there. Takes a shot onto Aaron. Maybe could have waited out just a bit longer, because they have now had time to sort of get their shields back up to a decent point. Of course, still not aware of Edgy's position. Can he hit a big shot? Not too shabby. I'm sure he would have wanted more. Of course, not easy with that red eye from close range.
I like this though. Edgy slowly but surely trying to back off, doing what he can because he doesn't want to get pushed by them too. He's separated from Miro. All it takes is a split second of separation for them to try to pounce, try to attack, and take advantage of the numbers game. But Edgy, he's been in this situation before. He has one of the biggest brains here in the stage. He knows exactly what to do. He's backing off. But there's another team slowly but surely sneaking in.
Is there something I'm missing here about Breakwater Bay? Why is everyone so attracted to this POI?
I don't know. It's like a vacation home down here or something where everybody kind of relaxed. The zone did pull over here. As you see the replay over towards Shatter Slabs. Jylix and Owl. That's going to be a huge shot on the DJ who falls again, leaving Muzz by himself.
I can't lie, you got put through the works there. I cannot lie. That was looking like some creative montage stuff right there.
TK. They're trying to get things going early on. Throughout the 2 days, they finished very high. I know watching one of their games during replays, I was trying to research as much as they can. They got a massive amount of eliminations and a victory royale in one of the last ones, and that's the type of momentum you like to carry in, the confidence you like to build going into the third and final session as Pledge is trying to break through, take control of these pieces, trying to catch somebody off guard. Finally get to the box. Piece control is going over, edits the piece, takes down the player, 4 more points to their total, and a bunch of confidence really begin to build up.
I love that from Pledge. Just as he peeks around that corner, placing the stare there, blocking off the angle, the extra precaution. It goes a long way, of course. And now, back to Breakwater Bay and all the amazing things happening at this POI. So many players here in the Storm now. But is there any real winner from this situation? Looks like Edgy is trying to leave. I don't think Trashy's going to let him get away with it too much. Aaron and Naves, of course, will feel like they can get in on this one as well. But teams now at least starting to make their way towards the safe zone. Still have a ways to go as it closes.
Trade-off right there. Aaron seeing it all go down in the distance, getting a knock on the Pump. Edgy got down early on. Pump still down. Trashy can still try to go ahead and break out, get the res, but that other team knows that they're there. And now they have the choice, though. They can go ahead and try to continue the third party, make their lives that much harder, or they got the surge. They already got their elimination, so they can go ahead and focus on that rotation to zone. And it does look like a possible reboot card was picked up. Nero's trying to get out. Anything can happen here.
Yeah, for sure. Trashy, I'm sure would maybe think he can pick up his teammate and get things back on the road. Again, one of those really awkward. You do see situations like that where you have a bunch of different teams, a bunch of different parties, all sort of vying for the same thing, right? They want to deal damage because they know Storm Surge is going to be an issue later down the line. But it isn't that simple at times.
It's not. You can't get lost in the sauce. You can't tunnel vision. This Kanata just takes a huge amount of damage from the side, but that's not too much to worry about. Agers wasting no time, going hip to hip. They know exactly what to do in these scenarios, how to hold the walls when somebody is under pressure, as Booga and Peterbot, they're immediately trying to go over.
Yeah, and of course, one of the bigger parts of this season has been the augments. Mini Miner, can you tell us how are these players using augments to their benefit?
They're using them very effectively indeed. Now we have Gold Duck right here using the aerialist augment to speed up those mid-game rotations. We can see on the mini-map on the bottom right, they're not actually in the safe zone, but this aerialist augment just allows them to go through the zones a lot quicker. So expect to see this team in a good position.
Thank you, Mini Miners. Quick breakdown. Catching us up with some of the things we might have missed, might not have known. And I like that. I like the aerialist because if they're able to make it towards endgame, they can make daring acrobatic plays, taking high ground and immediately trying to give it up. They can bait players into unfavorable situations knowing they have an escape plan in their back pocket.
Peterbot back on our screens here. I'm a big fan of this duo, and I'll tell you why, Jacob. I feel like I've seen this before. And you might be thinking, what is this Levin guy waffling about? Please shut up, Levin. Like, what are you saying? This is the first... I'm talking about EU. Don't get mad at me. But this duo reminds me a lot of Tayson and Thomas HD way back in the day when they teamed up, where you have the person who on their region is considered a respective GOAT, Tayson, the parallel there being Booga. You have Peterbot, who the parallel being to Thomas HD, just the guy. You know when you have the guy, Peterbot is that guy, Thomas HD has always been that guy on EU. And I do think, though, the difference with Booga and Peterbot is that they can probably do what Tayson and Thomas were never able to do last year, and that is win an FNCS championship. A very, very impressive team, and a formula that definitely could work, and it's been working so far today.
One impressive team to 2 more, Clicks and Donnie. Kanata and Adris, box to box, wall to wall. Kanata trying to go for that piece control. He's going to get at least one, forcing Clicks back into the same box as Donnie. The trick is right now is they're barely flirting with that Storm Surge threshold. 40 below, 27 above. Another team sneaking by, though. You have to be careful. If you don't watch out, Angers, you could be taken down. That's Collapse. Sneaking by. And I like this right now, Kanata. Even though Aegis is on one side, Kanata's just honestly always getting that information. You always got to be doing something here in Fortnite.
Yeah, got to stay proactive. Can't sit idle and twiddle your thumbs together. That's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to start moving. Of course, have the shockwave hammer to do so. And as always, Kanata hitting some shots, but taking some damage as well. The chug splashes will allow him to get back up if need be.
Probably waiting, saying, hey, before I use my splashes, he's probably letting Aegis take his shots. That way, if he gets tagged up, they're optimizing the actual splash usage. But you got to be careful. If you get pushed, you only have 100 HP at that moment in time, as Dubs and Accept trying to peek through, get themselves some elevation. They know there's so many teams on the outside of zone. Even though they're 200 above the damage threshold, there's always room for more surge.
Yeah, and there will be opportunities for them to get tags from where they're sitting at. Of course, Aegis and Kanata still in the zone, trying to make their way in and just barely making it sort of under this natural ridge in the map. And it's going to give them the space and time that they need to get their heals back up. But to be honest, for a team that's been so impressive today, they look depleted, and this refresh would go a long, long way. If they can pick up claps, which is exactly what they'll do, it could be the key to keeping them in this game. It's definitely going to be worth to run into the storm to get his loot. But there are eyes on it, so Kanata's going to have to use those builds, guarantee that he's not, you know, he means.
Warrior and ABN, so much high ground. So it's very interesting to see that they're 59 below the damage threshold, trying to out-heal it, using a lot of their minis, trying to save the splashes to the last moment. Donnie's going to go down to Paul. Clicks is out as well to Ducky. They probably got focused there just a little bit as Edgy and Miro. He got him back into the game. Second chance at life here. What can you do with that second opportunity?
Well, what they need to do with the second opportunity right now is head to zone. But they don't really have much by way of HP. The med missile get Edgy back up. He obviously saw how much they were struggling earlier. And to get back into this game, I'm assuming it's going to have to be some sort of a big box fight, right? They're going to have to get on the offensive, catch a team out, and just hope that they can hit the jackpot, right?
Sounds easy.
Easier said than done.
Yeah, I was about to say, sounds easy, but you know as well as I do, everything is much harder in Fortnite. Like the mirror, everything is larger than it appears. As Joji and Rokane are the only team other than Kanata and Aegis to place top 10 in the first 2 games. And that goes to show it's not all about the victory royales. Consistency beats out more times than not, as Illis has the Peely's Plunder treasure map, but he's down 86 below the damage threshold. And this is where it goes to where he might not be able to pick and choose his battles here.
Yeah, the weird thing is that his teammate is actually behind these guys in terms of names and Aaron. His teammate's by the gas station. So even though he's alone, Slacks is just sort of behind that. Oh, dear.
That's first place.
Okay,
That's
Aegis
Aegis.
is down. Kanata now has to make a big, big play. But even if he is able to survive here, this game's flipped on its head. Playing as a solo from this point on is going to be a very difficult task, even for a player of Kanata's level. But Dubs and Accept, they've done a world of good in terms of trying to further their campaign in this tournament, taking out one of your top competitors.
And that was a miracle find because they didn't have that shockwave hammer moments ago. Now they're using it to get the zone. Kanata trying to be hot on their heels, getting tagged up from all over on the lobby. Dropped down to about 76 HP, trying to pause, find some stability where he picks what the next move is going to be because he's still outside of zone. He's still below the damage threshold. He's still following this duo. He's out for revenge here, but he's going to find that sweet spot right above him inside of zone and try to toy with it here. 118 below the damage threshold. He still knows in the back of his mind, I have to be proactive.
Out for revenge or looking for trouble, it's all about how you interpret it. The question is whether or not he will survive. He's used all of his metal now. Just has the one build left. And now when he's trading in these kind of situations, it doesn't look good. He's not going to be able to out-heal. They know that he's down bad, and so they'll just continue to spray up. It looks like it's going to be the end of the game for Kanata here. That's the first place team, and so an opportunity for anybody in the lobby to catch up, and one of the teams who'll certainly be looking to do that is right here on our screens, Dubs and Accept. Saxon, Illis, they've gotten together. They've closed the distance, but no further in actually trying to beat out Aaron and Naves. They're the ones on the back foot, and Aaron and Naves knows it. Playing very patiently, but needs to stay together. Can't afford to get lost in the source.
Above the damage threshold, they know defensive is going to be the key here, especially since they know they already got the knock onto Illist. Slack by himself. under siege. A little bit of HP. They're trying to break through. Slack's doing what he can. Backing down little by little. You got to imagine below the threshold. Slack's probably getting barely above. Tries to peek. Gets punished. Aaron and Aves get not one, but two of those eliminations.
They needed that, right? They were
Bad.
obviously up above Surge, but didn't really have any metal. Names just picked up about 400 there, right? From a big elim for them for the rest of this game. John and Suscript here, they have a chance to really start to take up a lead on that leaderboard and gain a bunch of points, and some of their top competitors are down.
But this right here is the moment. I like what you're saying. They have a chance, the potential to take to the top side of the leaderboard, but they're 88 below the damage threshold. The next moves they make could decide the future of them very, very soon. As they continue to stout, playing patient. They know all these players around, peeking for Surge, shooting the shots just like they are. They're waiting for somebody to slip up. And they're separated. That might be the move.
And they actually are going to be able to profit off of it. And again, not getting too greedy. They really need to be cautious. There's a lot going on. They, just like us, will hear all these shots, all these fights taking place. Maxo just below that. Gotta think he'll be caught out eventually. So much is going on. This is very chaotic right now, Jacob.
They're doing a good job, though. Suscript and John, throughout all the chaos, surviving. Still 83 below the damage threshold, which isn't much, to be honest. A couple of well-placed shots with that red-eye assault rifle would definitely put them above. There goes 28, but they're still below, taking damage. They have to figure out what they're going to do to get the next 54. Peeking through the same hole. Storm Surge still taking them up, trying to out-heal. No more splashes on the Sudscript. Somebody pushing into the box. That could be the recipe that they needed, because even though they got a crest on, they landed the perfect shot to put them above the threshold.
I like that from Sudscript. Hitting a big shot just when they needed it. And needs to keep on doing that. The angle isn't too favorable for him, and so we'll take a chunk of his HP. But this is exactly what they want. An opportunity to keep them in this game. But the pressure from Vert and Walkers is relentless. It's causing them issues. And they also have to start planning their rotation, right? They aren't in the zone. They will have to get there. For teams who are maybe looking a bit better, and so they know they can get to zone anytime they want. And the time is now. Going to land towards Booger and Peter, but maybe even look to get in on them. Looking for that all-in play. I don't know if that's the duo you want to do it to, though.
That's not one I would want to take on, as Booga is able to take down Edgy, making them instantly regret that decision. And it was Booga of all people, not even letting Peterbot get in that one, as they do have two eliminations, 374 above the damage threshold. For them, it's business as usual.
Yeah, look, you're going to see all around the lobby players jumping into boxes, because they are very, very desperate. But there are certain boxes you just don't want to walk into. Players falling left, right, and center of that. And Walkers who have done a good job of being the aggressors, the instigators so far this game. Now maybe running into some trouble themselves. They've got the eye of some of the lobby. Miro, who obviously just lost Edgy a second ago now, is going to have to try and plan out the rest of this game with, what, just 12 builds? As great of a player as he is, he's going to need a lot more than that.
I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't a little bit worried about Nero, but at the same time, I'm waiting, because at a moment's notice, he is the type of player that can pop off. You see the zone, a stacked south side, but that is also the front side of zone. So anybody that's stacked towards the back side, they probably have to wait for everybody else to begin to rotate and then shockwave their way there.
And for Rokin and Joji, Rokin just scouting out, figuring out where exactly is safe for them to be able to use their hammer. They don't want to run into too much. You can see Vert and Walkers, though, they have the prime positioning to hold on for height here as they build on towards this hill. And for the teams in this lobby, if you want to have a good game, you want to be one of the first ones to get up on this hill. And so for Coop and Hide and Seek, they need to start planning their way and getting up. Dubs and Xcept are doing a brilliant job, though. This is where you want to be. You don't want to be the teams stuck down below, late to rotate upwards. Because if you are, the likes of Vert and Walkers up on height will be ready to pounce, ready to take you out.
And honestly, this is where Forecast, and this is why Vivid said it's probably one of the best augments in the game right now, because not only does it go up and over the mountain, it goes right back down below. So if you're trying to pick and choose your spot, you got to be careful, just like Dubs and XF under siege, under pressure. The bounce outside of zone, but a shockwave hammer into the hands of Dubs, send him right back in. Jamper's down. It's all up to paper. 10 HP. He gets sent back to the lobby as Joji's trying to do the same. Road Kane went down. It's all up to him as a solo.
Yeah, it's not looking too great. But you never know what Joji can do. He can always make something happen. He has his eyes set on people. He sees people moving, and that might be his cue to start moving his way on as well. The hammer will allow him to do so. Needs to make sure he stays out of the line of sight of and Walker taking a shot along the way. But they're the holders of height, getting chopped out though, as you do so often this season. Just need to hold on though.
Yeah. They have the builds. They're getting challenged by Peterbot himself, Booga as well. They're doing just enough. Shockwave hammering to the front side of zone, and guess what? Height is still theirs. Rain and Boogas.
Booga and Peterbot, they weren't just happy with that first place in the previous game. They want another one. And so they'll look to try and play from height. We'll keep following that. Joji, though, we saw his journey as a solo, and it will sadly come to an end. Noxy and Okis waiting in the front side of the zone, looking back at all of these players, and are very, very comfortable. They know how to make a move, though. And as they look to make their move, they see to find themselves in the same position that they were capitalizing on others, stuck in the zone, stuck in the dirt, stuck in the ice, sent back to the lobby. Dubs and Next Step will pick up another. They see all that loot there, and they see another player. They're going to keep taking shots.
Brave move by Scare, but he had no other option, trying to heal. Booga still holding on to that high ground. Peterbot going to the backside of zone, trying to cover and making sure that they're set, but they're only just on one layer, and that's why Peterbot's going to go forward, build ahead, get that height, and try to secure it for him and Booga. 6 teams left. This is definitely theirs for the taking.
And this zone has been so awkward for all of these players that are down below. Having to slip and slide across the ice, and sliding into the wrong box is going to cost you, and that's exactly the fate that Vert faced. Walking right into Dubs. He's got 6 already this game. He is on one.
You said it yourself. Peterbot and Booga looking to go back to back, and he's not only going to take part in it, he's going to try to take it by force, dropping down just enough to try to get the extra resource. You see him building up to protect Booga, but Shockwave Hammer right back on down. The challenge against Dubs. Peterbot is going to go ahead and try to solidify himself. The patience. This man can attack anything, but he knows when and where to do it.
We just saw him in this position a bit earlier, but this time he has Booga with him, so there's going to be even more confidence. Group and hide and seek. We saw them making brilliant plays earlier, cerebral in their attempts, and doing the same here, down low on Max. And so in this final sort of zone, they do have to hit big shots if they want to do it. Peterbot is ready and waiting though, and so making sure to build up. Don't want to lose height, don't want to get too excited, because there are still some top teams in this. Dubs and Except Coop now playing as a solo, and now all about hitting these crucial shots. Except will fall, Dubs will fall as well, it seems, as Booga and Peterbot are making him pay. Will they connect to the final shot? Having to drop down though for a second and use them chug splashes to heal, but you've got to think it's a matter of moments.
Game 2, they had 8 eliminations in the Victory Royale. Game 3, they have 8 eliminations, picking up more to 9 and going back to back. These guys are looking to just lay down and take over the game and have it be their throne. They are the kings right now of NA West, and they're daring anybody to challenge them.
We do not sing their praises for nothing. This is a serious team, and this is not just, you know, a top performance from them. This is a serious warning to the rest of NA East. You cannot mess with these guys. They will make anybody and everybody pay. What a game. To start the game off a bit slow and then roll through and just stop the whole lobby. What a duo. I am so impressed.
This is looking like their day 1 of the qualifiers, even to make it to this point. Almost 100 eliminations in that session 1 alone. It made it to where they didn't have to go all out. They didn't have to spend too much energy yesterday. They're saving it all for today. And what a plan that is. These guys cannot be stopped right now.
I just love how Peterbot makes some of the most intense high action moments look like just a creative warm-up, making it look easy. I don't compare these guys to some of the best players of all time in other regions for no reason. They are really them guys, and they're showing it here today.
Yeah, and I think that comparison was almost perfect. I know tomorrow, EU, they're going to probably be looking at us saying, hey, what about that comparison now? But for Booga and Peterbot, there's nothing to compare them to. But let's see what other great things have happened during that last game. Zeke, Vivid, Taco, break it all down.
Thank y'all so much, as always. Halfway through here in NA East, my goodness. And these guys are talking about comparing. I'm going to be really bold here. Okay. I feel like this duo is a lot like Vino and Queasy. Now, I know what you're saying. Whoa, Zeke, whoa! Listen, let me contextualize. This duo specifically, Booga and Peterbot, it feels like Booga is like the eye in the sky. He's just waiting. And he's like, okay, Peterbot, right there. And then Peterbot's like, oh, sick, let me jump down. All right, sick, I'm coming back. You know, like, it's that kind of dynamic that these guys remind me a lot of. So it's cool to see that. I mean, after game 3, points speak for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, I'm looking all the way at the top of the leaderboard, and Peterbot and Booga are finding themselves up there. But there was just so much about this game that I actually liked and myself learned. First of all, Peterbot and Booga shown us that the Shockwave Hammer, we talked about it in games number 1 and 2, it was really, really hard for teams to hold height because of the Shockwave Hammers. Booga and Peterbot just kept hopping from high ground to high ground, making sure that they stayed at the front of the zone, so that way nobody at the back of zone could knock them out. But then it was also like, usually when we watch these high ground teams, they get caught up in applying pressure sometimes. But no, Peterbot and Booga looked like they were just constantly ready for anybody that was going to Shockwave Hammer up, and it was the perfect counter to that.
A lot of discipline exemplified here as well from Peterbot specifically, because he had instances where he could have gone for the finish on the elims when he was able to find those knocks in those final moments, but he chose to stay cool and composed. He waited for the perfect moment to actually strike, and he looked like he was out there on a firing range for a hot minute.
Love to see it. In third, Hide and Seek and Cooper. I mean, these guys also just putting on an absolute show for us here in NA East. Sitting pretty in third place, and I mean, I just love that we get to see kind of more names highlighted.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. And that's on the back foot of them also utilizing the hammer very, very well. I mean, Cooper getting caught off guard here, making himself get all the way into this end game. And it's a really bold strategy to actually go out into the storm with the hammer, right? It's always a bold strategy to go into the storm, but he knows that he has enough charges to kind of make that play, make sure he lives just a little bit longer, and then come right back with it.
Again, though, it's just another fantastic solo clutch coming out of Cooper and this duo. They can just trust in each other. And, well, I think that Seek has a lot of faith in Cooper at this point, because first he made it to 5th, now to 3rd, and it just continues to help them climb because that's a +9 on the leaderboards.
So good, man. Just so much talent here in NA East. One of my favorite things to see. Now, we do have a very special guest joining us here in just a moment. It is none other than Tokata. Hello, buddy.
Hello, how's it going? Great. I mean, it's been amazing so far. Thank you so much for having me.
It is great to see you, my friend. How are you enjoying things so far? I know we've kind of announced this global championship, and you got kind of like a little bit of a taste of that at Invitational. Are you excited for the global championship?
Look, words can't even describe my excitement. I use the same phrase in Invitational, and seeing the hype from the audience, from the community, from the players internationally, I mean, players from Asia representing Middle East, I mean, it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and with the global championship being announced, I can't wait to see who makes it there, and I mean, how the competition rolls out.
So, Takata, how are you and your watch party enjoying the game so far, though?
It's been crazy, right? We've seen some clutches. I mean, Peterbot has been popping off. We have some big names like Kanata Agers doing great. Overall, I mean, there's been some insane clutches. I'm loving it, but I really want to see who kind of ends up coming out on top. I mean, this is week 1 of the qualifiers, so.
Yeah, and quick question before we let you go, and I don't want you to say forecast. That's way too easy of an answer. What is your favorite augment right now in Fortnite?
Look, that's a good question. I could go for like the combination, getting the light fingers and pistol lamp to kind of make the pistol be a lot stronger. But I think I'm gonna have to pick Danger Hero because it's so useful when you do get cracked to get that little bit of extra mobility and your health getting regen. So if I can't say forecast, I'm gonna have to say Danger Hero.
And what are you looking forward to in the last like 3 games here? Is there anything that you're maybe like hoping to see that we haven't seen yet?
Look, I'm glad you asked, because we've seen a lot of the Titans perform, right? The Peterbot, the Agers, the Kanata, but there's a duo that, you know, I'm interested in. It's Costa, who's representing Argentina, and his duo partner Zeus representing Mexico. You know me, you know how I like supporting my Spanish-speaking friends, so I want to see them do a comeback. They're not doing the best right now, but they're halfway up that leaderboard, and if they get a few good games, I wouldn't be surprised if we see them at the top.
That's awesome. Well, Tokata, thank you so much for your time, buddy. We'll be seeing you here for weeks 4 and 5 of Major number 1. Man, I love Tokata so much. But we have 3 more games left to go here. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm kind of in love with the Shockwave Hammer. I said it. I said it.
We've seen a lot of plays around him. I mean, a lot of chaos going on, a lot of plays being made, and I can't wait to get like three more times of that.
You know, everybody's entitled to an opinion, Zeke. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Wow. Anyway, you know what? Cameron, just come here. Yeah, just ignore Taco. Hey, guess what? Game number 4 is upon us, so we ain't got to wait much longer. Let's get into it.
We are at the halfway point. 3 very, very entertaining games thus far, and 3 question marks to come, right? But what I can tell you about these question marks is that they will be very intense because so many of these teams now are looking very, very good going into the last 3.
Yeah, there's a lot of threes going around, and for Booga and Peterbot, they're trying to make it that 3rd victory royale on the day.
Imagine.
Dude, I don't have to imagine. I think they have the best chances to make it happen. They kind of tossed away a team right out of the gate. They're no longer being contested, and now they can pick and choose. Do I want a third party that or not? But luckily for us, we don't have to wait long to find out because game number 4 starts right now.
Game number 4. Who will it be? We've just witnessed 2 victory royales from Booga and Peterbot. Will it be the 3rd for them? Will Acorn and Cold finally win off spawn at Slappy Shores? Who's going to come out on top over here, right? At Lonely Labs, Macquid and Threats, one of the better height teams in this lobby, have a difficult task on their hands as they have to win out off spawn. Lonely Labs, one of them interesting POI. It's a bit different to some of the other ones we have around the map. And a repeat may be here. With the Yomzo and Rise looking not too good off spawn.
We threw the number of 3 around. And this might be the 3rd time. They go down very, very early. Then EBO to pull it back, and Acorn doing it well on the other side of the map. But no, Rise gets denied again. Braids and Moo are just taking over this landing spot, calling it theirs, but Cold is down at the top of the factory. Hide and Seek is doing just that, trying to play hide and seek to stay alive. I do believe Acorn is going to be able to get the res.
Yeah, there's a sliver of hope finally for this duo. We might finally get the chance to watch Acorn and Cold play out a full game. But as I say that, it's none other than the lobby boss, the lobby king, walking through and causing issues. Peterbot running in a big shot onto Acorn. And in the one game where they might finally have won their spawn, they have the best duo in the lobby rolling on through. This is just so difficult to watch if you're a fan of Acorn and Cold. Cold finally being a limb, and Acorn just waiting for the inevitable, it seems.
Called him the lobby boss. Now I'm waiting for him to just take a POI, spawn with a mythic weapon, and hopefully everybody's just kind of trying to take him down because
any shotgun is a weapon in the hands of
That's exactly. He's going to get the mythic thunder. That's just give it to Peterbot, put him in the game because he deserves it the way he's playing right now. And he's already hunting for the next one. Spots out Acorn. A defensive wall going up. But a defensive shot by Peterbot. Over 100. Tagging and taking down Acorn. 50 more. Impulse is going around, but they don't work like Shockwave. You can't break through the build. Acorn under siege. It's only a matter of time before Peterbot strikes again.
Oh, look at how he's antagonizing him. He's already limbed him and he just keeps shooting the floor.
Just need
a
to make
sign
sure.
of disrespect.
You just need to make sure.
Just making sure.
Don't get up. Stop trying.
Oh, man.
This is our POI. Go somewhere else. And this is honestly the same exact start they've been having since game number 2 when they got that first victory royale. Because game number 1, they split it. They let him go on their merry way, and whatever happened, happened. Since then, they've been taking over as Nosh and trying to do that same thing over here towards Anvil Square. And it already looks like Clicks is down, so Donnie's by himself, but he does have plenty of builds to work with, plenty of resources. He just has to find some separation between the two.
Donnie has to go huge here. It's not out of possibilities, but when Nosh is piecing like that, it's never going to be easy. Donnie looks like he's going to have to say bye-bye. Nosh and Nut making things awkward, making things tough. Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness. And to take the L, just for the cherry on top, that is what you call clean.
That's what you call thinking inside of the box, as Threat's trying to capture the spot by himself at that. Macwood is going to be the one going down. He's trying to get everything he can, except in Dubs, 172 points. They are out. This is game 4. The next highest is about 78 points down, if my math is correct. That's a big if, though.
I'll be real. I don't think your maths is correct. But the point still stands. Because when the second place team is down like that, it is gonna leave a gap, a window for all those players just beneath to waltz on through and get themselves involved. For Trashy, he doesn't have pump. He is gonna look to select an augment.
Oh. I saw in the feed. I saw two things in the feed. Threats as a solo's making magic happen, and somehow Peterbot is down. Fredbot and Gutterleaf holding the low ground. Trashy's by himself. You know Pump is out. And I like this move by Trashy. He played around with it like he had the high ground. Immediately left, and there it goes. Hide and seek. Peeks at the right time. He takes out Booga as well. First place is out. Second place is out. If you wanted a miracle, you were granted it just now.
The top two teams in the lobby have just given a wide open window for anybody to waltz on in. Booga and Peterbot, who were looking so good, they were literally taunting Acorn and Cold. They now go down. Booga on the defensive. Peterbot 2 on the offensive.
Wait a minute, was this a 2v1?
No.
Hide and seek?
No.
Just 2v1?
No.
Booga and Peterbot? You have to come out on top after that, right? You don't take down Booga and Peterbot in a 2v1 and not win the game. As Threats, he already took down one himself. Now in a 1v1 scenario, shots coming in from the third party. 1v1 against Albanian, and Threats stands up tall. Now he's gonna get the reboot and get everything to himself from Lonely Labs.
I'm still in awe of Hide and Seek.
If I didn't see the replay, I wouldn't have believed it.
What is he cooking?
Let him cook. Just let him
I'm gonna let him cook. We all gotta let him cook. Who's gonna stop him? If he's taking out
I'm not getting his path.
If he's taking out Peterbot and Booga 1v2, who is gonna stop him?
You know what? If Trios goes around, I think I got my pick. If Trios goes around, I think I know who I'm gonna ask to try a trio with. Now Cooper's back. At first, second place is out. And guess who's now first place left in the lobby?
Wow, I'm just in awe. I am just in awe. This is not the story that we were supposed to be telling. Coming into today, everybody was thinking, oh, it's going to be either Peterbot and Booga. Oh, it's going to be Acorn or Cold. Nobody gave that team a chance of coming out of Slappy Shores. And yet they're doing it. So we'll see if they can continue to. Anyway, the game must go on.
Nawson takes down Cooper in the feed. What is this madness? This is dreams and nightmares right before our very eyes as Tetra Zavoxy towards the low ground, playing cool, playing patient. You know, Bryce was right on top of them along with his duo. And then there's another team that they don't even know is there. Super high ground, ready to strike. Is Hide and Seek now under pressure. Can he go back? Backed up from one side. The luck has finally ended. Lightning does not strike twice. Flo and Nawson take him down.
I'm not an analyst anymore. I might as well not be, because I could not have predicted. There is nothing that would have prepared me to predict this happening here in Game 4. Wow, okay, so this is a even more interesting game now. Yeah, sure, we got some top dogs down, but the stakes are even higher for everybody else below. For Canada and Aegis, a big opportunity to reclaim their spot. These guys were in first place at a certain point, and a couple bad games has meant they've dropped off a bit. But nevertheless, there will still be a chance. Jamper and Paper, of course, will be hoping. We've seen Paper a couple times now in these end games, solo clutching Jamper as well. Maybe if we can get a game with these two alive as a duo, then there'll be an opportunity for them to boundaries. Walkers and Vert sitting on 1-4-2 points. A big.
You can already see it about. Okay, that's about 80 points. That's about 80 points.
Trying to bridge that gap.
Yeah. My math is a little Booga and Peterbot and the downfall in this game. You've got to imagine what everybody's got to be going through. Scott Script and John Valenzuela, you've seen them very, very early on in the previous games towards Shattered Slabs and these other POIs. And this time around, they don't have those early game eliminations, so they're going to have to worry about Surge sooner rather than later.
Yeah, TK and Pledge sitting in that top 10. Of course, they've got Peely's Plunder, they've got that augment, and so if they follow the map and get that loot, they will be very prosperous after that.
playing that passive game. They got their 2 eliminations, but oh my god, that Red Eye Assault Rifle doing a ton of damage, dropping Fats down 19 shields. But finally getting around that cover, using the natural terrain to block some of those shots, switching seats, teamwork, making the dream work between him and Pam, and that's where you can be able to splash him back up. They see another fight going on in the distance, and this is where, as they continue to go around, they're now putting themselves on the slow side of zone, and the slowest at that.
And the benefits of that, right, of course, is that gives them a bit more time as they rotate in, and there typically aren't going to be as many players lurking in this area right now. If they keep on moving towards the north, though, they will run into this fight eventually. The Slacks in the list are facing up against Mars and his duo.
Slacks and Illis, 12th place that is left alive in the lobby right now. 76 points, with a lot of our top competitors going down early. We've already talked about it. Perfect chance for everybody really to catch up, along with Muzz, who has lost Degen yet again. Like a solo warrior here, trying to put on the shots, trying to get some damage. As a solo, it's very hard to gather that surge.
In that situation, and especially when you have a teammate as good as Degen, you're always gonna wish you have him by your side. Nevertheless, Muzz is very capable, but it is gonna be very difficult. The thing is, though, now we do have a switch up, Jacob. Miniminer, he's a bit too busy for us now. He's big time, but instead we got our boy Vivid, who's gonna be giving us some updates. So Vivid, what have you got for us?
Yeah, Mini is a busy man, but somebody else that's busy is Threats. He's actually in a 1v2 situation all spawn, but he prioritizes the capture point at the POI to make sure that he gets enough loot to make this 1v2 happen. And then right there on the back foot of that, hits the clean, heavy shotgun shot, which a lot of people forget about because it's overshadowed by that Thunder shotgun sometimes, but he makes it happen. Let's see if they can carry this momentum into the end game.
That is huge for a player like Threats, to where he's been in some of the biggest stages. He's been in some of the biggest events of them all, and that's just building his confidence, saying, hey, I can do it yet again. And there's a team that needs to build up that confidence, and they've already done so right out of the gate. Over 500 above the damage threshold, Kanata and Agers. That allows them the comfortability to rotate and focus on where they want to go in towards zone while trading off of the shots, building up that Storm Surge total even more.
Really impressive stuff all across the board. Oh my goodness, Walker. Okay. It's a shame that Vert's not up in this game, because this duo has been very good. And of course, we talked about how they have a chance to, you know, start bridging that gap. The chance is lessened with Walker's just being a solo. But never count him out, especially if you can hit shots like that. He needed to hit it though, right? Barely above that threshold. But it's a shame, because this would have been the best game for them to both be up as a duo, doing what they've been doing all day long.
Yep. 138 points for Rokane and Joji. This was a brilliant switch up by them, because during the last Elite Cup, they were just not having their best day. They were getting taken down early, third-partied. It took them to about like the third or fourth game to even get on the board in terms of points. And now look at them. A total 180, 138 points, top of the leaderboard at that. Now they just need to remain consistent, just like Threats. And Macwood getting that second chance. You saw Vivid breaking down. Macwood is back. He has to thank Threats for that. So everything here is bonus, because look at that, 632 because of that 2v1.
Yeah, huge plays from Threats. And that's exactly what you can expect him to do. A spectacular player when he's in his mood. And clearly in that mood today. I do want to see them get back to playing up on height in these end games. So that's where I like to see them. That's where they're most comfortable. That's where they're most effective. Edgy taking a chunk to his effective HP. Does have some minis and chug splashes though.
Jock and Qual. A lot of these teams finally making it out of the gate this time around. And that's the thing. You know as well as I do. As long as you can make it that mid to that end game, you can start to pick up, stack together those points. Okus and Noxy, 108. They got the Shockwave Hammer. They have height. They have the survey of the land, gathering that information, figure out what is that perfect rotate going to be. And honestly, because of where they're at, they can wait to that last possible moment, Shockwave Hammer to the center of the zone, and not have to worry about much. Just like John Valenzuela and Subscript. Only thing to me that they might have to worry about is if Subscript doesn't have that Shockwave Hammer. They're staggering themselves too far back. They're finally going to go, but the shots finally come in. They get peeked on by that solo player into the distance who desperately needs the surge as well.
Yeah, it's going to be super important for them. The specials, though, will give them that bit of extra lee room as they keep on making their way in. Walkers taking advantage of the fact that there is still some nice big brick rocks here for him to farm. And now he can cap off there as he keeps making his way on in. Very much on the lesser congested side of the zone, so not having to worry too much about players being around him. We'll probably have a bit of a free rotation getting in the meantime. Conti and Slam, another one of those teams, Jacob, very high up in the standings, who does stand a chance of, you know, bridging that gap between the top three.
But only 43 above. Some may not say it's much, but it's just enough to allow them to focus on the rotate, not have to force themselves into a weird spot just to get the shots. Just like Illis and Slacks, they have the high ground. They have the perfect spot to get the surge, but they still have to rotate in towards zone. Meanwhile, looking back behind, spotting that team on the high ground. Cheeky opportunity for Illis. That is going to be capitalized on him, but the return fire comes through. Illis gets tagged up. Threat spots him from the low ground. And then comes Slack to hold onto the covers. Teamwork at its finest.
Yeah, Illis and Slacks. They're going to have to start hitting some shots in fast. Macquid and Fretz are building so much, so it's going to make it really awkward for them if they want to take shots. Going to have to try to sneak them in there. But Macquid and Fretz are not invisible completely, right? They will still be seen at times. Oh, but Illis, you need to be careful, my friend. That is not a trade you want to be taking at all, especially when you're below. Now he's struggling to edit. The door edit comes up. You see a door edit come out at this level of Fortnite, you know something's wrong. Still, though, trying to make their way in and still looking to pressurize Fretz and Macquid.
And you can already see the bush getting thrown down. The Bush Warrior perk trying to get him back up to 100 HP, 50 shield, 436 threats, and Macquid on the other side of that one.
The thing is, for Fretz and Macquid, this is just so annoying, right? Because they're above on Surge, they don't need to be dealing damage. But now they're just burning mats, and they're sort of stuck here, right? If I was them, maybe I'd think I'd just tank the zone a bit and look to run around, and I think that's exactly what they may look to do. Because right now, Illis and Slacks are just causing issues. And they're not really benefiting anything out of this other than just a depleting mat count.
It feels like anybody that takes that top spot in the lobby in terms of the leaderboard that is left alive, they immediately go down. This is literally the perfect opportunity for anybody in a non-favorable situation to try to get ahead. And you can already see, not very many teams have to say, the Shockwave Hammer is the most commonly held specific item amongst teams that placed in the top 10. It's a necessity, and you can thank Taco for telling everybody in the world that.
Yeah, look, we keep on banging on about it, but if you've been watching, if you've been playing this season, it would have been very obvious to you that that is the case. The Shockwave Hammer is so essential. You can see here, all of our teams now, the ones that do have it, will be much better off as these games progress. And a quick update, right, in terms of just who's alive, who's doing what in the lobby. Walkers did actually fall, right? He was a solo, so the top 4 in the leaderboard are all down. Big opportunity for everybody, right? We keep seeing these massive switch-ups in the standings, and it seems like it'll be another game where that could certainly happen. Illis and Slacks not looking as bad as they were a couple moments ago, but still not looking good by any means. Not where you want to see them at all.
Even after all those annoying shots on the threats in Macquid, they're still 21 below the damage threshold. Just like Gold, he has a little bit of comfortability when it comes to the surge. Not too much to worry about. Found a little bit of a supply drop. Plenty of different items to work with. Instead of using the launch pad, he just quickly gets a better position, but still not in zone. Shots coming in. He becomes the focus of the lobby. Shields disappear right before our very eyes. Tries to fly high through the sky. Lives on a prayer right now. 2 HP and a dream.
The Shockwave Hammer got him out of dodge. But even in those situations where you are being lobby focused, right, you saw that he hammered, but he was just vulnerable in the sky. This is huge. Scare and Quanti. This is the team that is the next highest in the standings. This is the team that really needs to capitalize off this game. All of their top competitors are gone, but no, Scare will fall. And so Quanti now, he has to make something happen, but I don't think Naves and Aaron are going to give him a chance. They're going to keep running him down.
I think they got that loot right now. Seeing him try to run away, they're just going to take what they can. They're going to take their reward here and continue on with the rest of their game. There's no use in chasing. They already have a beautiful box set up here on the side of the mountain. They already have the storm surge necessary that they don't have to worry about it. They could just sit comfortably, let the rest of the game play out as Skittle towards the top, ABN as well. This is a must be in position for these guys. They must be able to capitalize on it. 823 above the damage threshold. All they need to do now is execute.
This is them playing a different version of Fortnite, right? This is the new 2D edition. They are having that bird's eye view. They see all in the lobby, sitting at the very peak of that mountain. And what a view it provides. For Canada and Aegis, though, this is massive. One of those other teams who will certainly hope to capitalize. One of the few remaining teams that is high up in the standings that is looking somewhat together as a duo and not looking scuffed. Rokane, another game where he's not looking too good. Joji is down, and he's just now med-missing in zone, waiting for Spade and Chimp to leave him alone.
So many different layers to this next zone. Goes up to the highest point in the mountain, all the way down to the lowest point at the bottom of the mountain. Picking and choosing where you're going to be here is going to be important as Rokane trying to get into the zone. 160 points. The opportunity, he has it in his grasp. He just needs to be able to hold on to it. You can see just how different this POI is, and it's going to go drastically down Brutal Bastion, but luckily for them, there's not too many different cascading layers that they have to go through.
Yeah, and that's very, very good for the teams who were down beneath that hill. If the zone had pulled the other way and you had to go up that hill, it would have been awful. And this is awful. Aegis has fallen, but fortunately Canada was able to trade, and so the revive will come off. The game is not all lost. Chimp and Spade don't seem to have an idea at all. Quanti, though, as much as he is a solo, he's not completely out of this game. Still looking strong.
17 splashes. He can definitely stagger himself back, wait for the zone to pull, and try to get there any way he can. But without the shockwave, his options are definitely going to be limited. Jamper and Paper, you can see the impulses going out. Anything is better than nothing. 3 different shield fish, some minis, and you can already see what's going to be used. Soaring sprints for Jamper, and Paper's there close by. They're trying to stay ahead of the zone. They don't want to go ultimate low ground just yet because they don't want to get caught in all that chaos and commotion.
But there are a bunch of old builds that people can use to recycle. This game is certainly a stack of Rokane at it, a big shot, but it's too much for him to handle. Canada and Aegis, they might be looking to go on the offensive. They certainly would benefit from a refresh. The materials aren't looking too strong. The hammer will allow them to move forward in the zone. Fretz and Macwood just trying to create as much space as possible. Very, very tight quarters right now. Plenty of hungry players around them. And those chug splashes may go a very, very long way. Aaron and Naves, we've seen how much of a thorn in the side they can be for any team that walks into their path. The hammer just plowing through all those builds, moving them to the front of the zone. And now they're sitting comfortable.
I keep thinking this is just probably has to be at the top of my list. The favorite teams to watch perform. Jamper and Paper looking down, get the shot. Somebody sneaks in their box. That's going to be Canada. He's able to take down Paper. 1v1 against Jamper, but shots also coming in from the side. Canada trying to take advantage. Drop down to 8 HP. Danger Hero showing its true form. HP going up. The speed boost going to be able to get Canada out. Perfect plays between the two to try to take that position at the top of the leaderboard.
I am shook to my core. How is Canada still alive? Will he stay alive, though, is the question. He will. Unfortunately, Aegis is down. Canada needs to go ballistic, but we know he can. Danger Hero once again coming in clutch. He needs to keep on moving into his zone. Can he take out Spade? He can! Canada doing what Canada does best. He's still in this game. 24 HP. Will he hit another big shot? Lurking out in the zone. The med missile getting back up. There are players, there are opportunities, there are shots to be hit. It's just about connecting with them.
And with no more shields, Danger Hero cannot be activated anymore because the shields will not be able to be cracked. 2 different shockwave hammers, though. Plenty of options, plenty of mobility to go up and over and leapfrog the rest of the competition. But he's looking for a refresh. He's looking for something to scavenge right now as everybody breaks out and breaks through the box. He's going to go ahead and catch somebody slipping here. The moment is coming.
The minis might just be his saving grace. No, he gets caught out. For a moment, he thought he had a second of cool, but he does not. ABN up on height. It looks like Fretz has dropped all the way down, and so he's going to be easy pickings for Eddie, who certainly did need that. Those builds will go a very, very long way as he plays his house. So Nelson will pick one up onto M-Pen, and so we're seeing players fall left, right, and center in this game. Still plenty more to be played.
Yep, into the top 7 we go. Bylaw's going to be by himself, but that's no worry for him. Chopping down high, bringing Nastin and Flow down to his level. Edgy trying to go ahead and find himself a crevice to work with. That way he could try to survive. Doing wonders throughout the first 3 games. They had 10 points. They've gotten over 100 points since then. Can they keep this momentum going as Macwood drops down the ultimate low ground? No build to his aim, but he turns and burns, takes out Byla before falling himself.
Going out with a bang. That's how Macwood likes to do it. Nevertheless, Aaron and Naves will continue the journey. You can see up above, height, really not having many issues here, but everybody's struggling. Down below, players in your face. You gotta hit a big shot. You gotta come in clutch. And unfortunately, some players just can't hack it.
The gap continues to close between everybody on the leaderboard. Low ground, Nas and Flow, edgy by himself. Him and Miro trying to go ahead, but Warrior takes him down. Warrior and ABN versus Nasen and Flow, 2v2 for the game.
Who is going to connect with the big shot? Both teams somewhat evenly matched, but the zone is not in their favor at all. It's going to pull upwards. And so Nasen, they need to try to chop them out. They need to do something big, because if ABN and Warrior just hold on, you certainly think they could win this game. It is going to go just around. And so both teams going to have a moment where they can just stay cool, not going to fight each other. Just stay cool, breathe, take a moment.
That's a blessing in disguise, because down low, I do believe I saw a ton of builds, a ton of resources to work with. And if they can make it over, they could probably zip line up. The options are theirs right now, and this one is going to take some time to settle. It's going to allow for Warrior and ABN to get any bit of resources up there, but it looks like they're almost fleshed out. There's barely anything to work with.
They need to get down, though. They don't have the mats, and so a hammer to push themselves into the zone. They now need to make sure they glide their way back on in. Can they hit the big shots necessary? I think the Flow realizes, though, that they are just above, and so not going to be able to do it. A trade, though, and so ABN now in a 1v1 against Nasen, who will come out on top. Nasen has the med kit, and I think he's going to go for it now. He's just going to hold on. I don't think ABN realizes he's going for the heal off. He's trying to weigh it on out. I don't know what heals he has, though, and so it looks like Nasen might get the med kit off and just win out the whole thing. But will he be able to? ABN's still going. He's not taking damage to the storm. He's not getting ticked off at all. And so Nasen, unless he finds some sort of heals now, it's not going to happen. Are they going to collide? Who's it going to be? ABN dropping down, trying to use the hammer. Will he hit the shot? He connects, but not enough. They need to connect now. He needs to push on through. He needs to hit it. Time is ticking. No! ABN will fall. Nasen was just a moment away from being taken out as well, but just able to hold on. The medkit play was huge, Jacob.
That was executed to perfection. Take a picture, because I don't think you'll see something like that in a very long time. They're separated due to the natural terrain. You think it's all over, high ground versus low, but the perfect med kit and then the two different med myths. Nasen had this one in the bag.
Wow. The medkit play, nerves of steel to hold on, right? Because if ABN had peaked, he was a sitting duck. Nevertheless, holding on, Nasen and Flow will take game 4.
But let's continue on with the story. From the beginning of the game till now, all of our top competitors going down and out, eliminated. That tosses the leaderboard into chaos.
Yeah, we honestly can't keep track of it. How could we possibly? So we're going to send it to the analysts. They're going to break it all down.
Thank you guys so much. Man, game number 4. The story of the top 3 going down means everyone else has breathing room. And my, oh my.